What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel as you tune in and you check out the content. And with that being said, man, y'all see the title, right? Michael Jordan got rich because of his fame. LeBron had to take a pay cut, and take less. Why, right? So Michael Jordan, his last 2 years in Chicago, man, he used his leverage, and he used his fame to get 2 years and make over $60 million the last 2 years. LeBron James, his this is probably his last going to be his last 2 years, and he signed for $8 million last 2 years. And this what old school people call hustling backwards, right? And so why is it hustling backwards? It's hustling backwards because had LeBron James put in that work throughout his career like he was supposed to, then he would be in a position like what Mike was, able to capitalize on his fame, able to capitalize on the leverage that he had going into his retirement. If Michael Jordan played hard, he did, like going he played hard throughout his career, early in his career. And money wasn't an issue. Mike was more so worried about winning because he's a basketball player and that's where his bread is buttered at. LeBron James always worried about him getting the most out of, whatever contract he think that he is qualified for, which ain't nothing wrong with that. If LeBron James had dedicated himself to the game like Mike and like Kobe and like Bird, and he was playing and he had that type of equity with any fan base, then right now LeBron James would have leverage. He wouldn't be in a position where all these teams that want LeBron James know that they can lowball him because he don't, like there's no fan base to outrage. Like if Chicago had not assigned Michael Jordan for those last two rings, his fifth and his sixth ring, man, they would have ran Jerry Reinsdorf and Jerry Krause out of town. It would have been a major, major uproar had Chicago not signed Mike to those two $30 million contracts. And that Chicago did not sign Mike to those contracts because they thought he deserved it. They still didn't want it. I think even when the general manager guy signed Michael Jordan contract, he said, "I'm going to regret this." Right now, after all Mike had done for the city of Chicago, and this guy, after four championships, going to tell Mike, "I'm going to regret this." Um, that just go to show you, man, just how greasy and how greedy people are. Like no appreciation, no loyalty, right? But even though the guy didn't have Jerry Reinsdorf had no appreciation, no loyalty to Michael Jordan, Mike still he had leverage and he could get those contracts, whether they wanted to sign Mike to that kind of money or not. Because just imagine if Chicago say, "Well, we not, we're not gonna give you that kind of money. You're not worth it." Mike could have went to somebody else and got that $30 million because Mike had leverage. He had that fan base. Fans love Mike. Mike could have shifted the power in the NBA just by going to another team. And so how would that look to Chicago the general manager and Chicago owner if Mike go to another team and lead them to a championship? Because he still had plenty of gas in the tank. So Mike could have left, but LeBron James and Mike could have left, and Mike could have took he would have took the fan base with him because fan base would have been like, he justified. Give him that money. He worth it. But there's not a fan base that's going to stand up for LeBron James and say, "Hey, look, man, give him that money. He's worth it." And why is there no fan base for LeBron James? Nobody willing to stick up and stand up for LeBron James. because LeBron James never really extended himself to any fan base. It's always been about him. He like there's he don't captivate any fan base. Like Cleveland fans don't really, they kind of indifferent to him. He's from Ohio, but they still indifferent to him. Uh Los Angeles fans, they don't like him. And the reason why Los Angeles fans don't like him is because he never tried to endear himself to the community. He never wanted to be a part of the community unless it was a situation where he was getting something out of it. Then LeBron James was, he participated in those type of situations. Miami, he was never part of that community. So LeBron, there's no outrage. It's like every man for himself when it comes to LeBron James. Right. And so that right there is as in my opinion, is a scary position to be in. Because you should not be in the NBA for 24 years. Free advertising. You know what I mean? Like the NBA is putting LeBron James in front of millions and millions of people, telling him that he the best thing since sliced bread, and then somebody else can control your narrative, can control your brand. That's crazy. That's in my opinion, like whoever your agent is and whoever your publicist is, that's like malpractice. If you gave me 24 years of free advertising for my business, man, it'd be crazy. I'd be so rich. It's just crazy. 24 years of free advertising. Y'all, this is the best you can do. But they control LeBron James' brand, they control his image. And so he don't, people think that he is in control, but it's not really like that. Because how do you take control? You take control the same way Mike did it, the same way Kobe did it, the same way Bird did it. Like they were featured. All these guys was Bird and Magic, all these guys, Isaiah, all these guys was featured. And so how do you take control of your own brand and your own image? You go out there and you play as hard as you can play. And you captivate that audience the best way you can. You know, that's like the fans will love you. You gotta make the fans love you. It's really the only way. Like the NBA, they can cut, you know what I mean? Like Chicago could get rid of you and put, bad publicity out there on Mike, but Mike, the way he played, the fans loved him. The way Magic played, fans loved him. Bird, fans love him. But LeBron James don't have that same love and that same respect from the fan base. So they, at the end of this, like they can cut his water off. And LeBron James don't have anything else to fall back on. And like I said, the way he managed and carried himself throughout his career, he just put himself in this position. The Philadelphia 76ers stand to make hundreds of millions of dollars on LeBron James these last 2 years. Because this year, Philly is going to get a ton of TV games. That's more money right there, right? So that $8 million that $8 million already done made that. They done made a profit off of that $8 million. So LeBron James gonna get $8 million. They're gonna make hundreds of millions of dollars. And if LeBron James is as savvy a businessman as he say he is, and his team say he is, then they should have known. They are aware of the fact that what's gonna like how Philly is gonna make so much more money off of him. But they're not in a position where as though they say, wait a minute, y'all, you know what I mean? They can't take none of that money off the table. Philly is giving LeBron James what they want him to have, and they telling him this is all we have. But they're gonna make hundreds of millions of dollars off of him. And then wait until next year, because I don't believe that this is LeBron James' last year. I think that LeBron James will play that 25th year, and I think that's going to be when the retirement tour comes. So now you're talking about even more money, right? You're talking about even more money, the retirement tour, LeBron James, Bronny James, and you can market that to the public. But LeBron James don't have any leverage because of the way he managed his career, the way he just disregarded the fan base, and he didn't try to build any equity with the fan base. And so that's where the money is. Even after retirement, like Mike was able, Mike is still cashing in on that fan base. Even though Kobe passed away, man, you know, Kobe still Black Mamba, his wife and his kids, his surviving kids, man, still cashing in on that fan base because Kobe put that work in. Magic Johnson, what Magic Johnson, I think, was the first NBA player to sign a $1 million contract, and so that was a big deal. That $1 million was a big deal. But now, you know, $1 million to Magic Johnson since he retired, man. You know, he Magic make millions and hundreds of millions of dollars every year because he is beloved in LA. And LeBron James, after his career over with, and I'm not, you know, I'm not wishing anything bad on him, but I just don't think he's going to command that kind of money. Because where do you get that? Where did that money come from? What gives you the leverage when you sit into those business meetings with people and they want to team up with you and they want to market you, use your name, likeness, and image? Where did the leverage come from? It come from your fan base. That's what that NIL is all about. It's that fan base. The people gotta love you. And so if you somebody who is polarizing, you don't have as much leverage as somebody who is beloved, like Mike, like Magic, like Bird. You don't have that kind of leverage. Like those guys, Mike, Magic, Bird, they'll never be broke. They can always tap into those fan bases. So, like I said, LeBron James, in my opinion, just hustle backwards, man. And that's my take. Make sure to like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, man, I'm gonna check y'all out in the next video. Peace.